because Ben Studios, it seems like the guys inside Ben Studios, they never pitched the idea to Sony, because of which Sony never got to know the sequel idea for the game. And right now we get to understand from this source, which is coming from Rhino. It's just a report from Rhino, but then it seems like the source is David Jeff's interview with John Garvin and Jeff Ross, plus extra input from David Jaffe in the comments on YouTube. Now if you go down to David Jaffe's post on Twitter, you can actually see that he basically posted stating that, you know, he feels sad that Deacon St. John is now being used as a promotional character in order to promote some very small games like Astrobots. And what's funny is that recently with the Astrobot game launching, you know, Ben Studios, the guys working at Ben Studios, it's a completely different team from the team that ran Ben Studios when Days Gone was released. So these guys are the new ones, completely different ones, and apparently it seems like the current guys posted this image basically just promoting Astrobot, where they said that his job is in the beach. Big congrats to our friend. And guess who got extremely offended? The guys behind the original character. They absolutely could not stand what Ben Studio is currently doing. It seems like John Garvin, the creative director of Days Gone, looking at how his character is basically being used as a promotional cameo on some small AA games, instead of giving such an amazing character a mainline game, giving him a sequel, making him look like an actual big character in the gaming industry. But no, they're just using him for promotion. And in my eyes, I honestly don't see any harm in this. But then, you know, as a creative director, as someone who has created this character, given life to this character, you kind of get what this man has to say. Now John Garvin says that he's kind of offended, and this is what he tweeted with a quote: "It's kind of sad that Deacon has been reduced to promoting other games. Well done, Ben Studio, way to protect your legacy." And after he made this statement, obviously there was a lot of hate that was just barging in, and a lot of people were just saying he has some ego issues and whatnot and all that stuff. In the interview, the game director also went on to say that Deacon St. John is now being reduced to cartoon shills for some really small games. That's where they're promoting Deacon St. John for. I mean, that's kind of understandable. To be honest, personally, I think that, you know, Days Gone 2 should have happened, and it's a great game. The first game is amazing, and for whatever reason, it seems like someone inside of Ben Studios, they were not happy with the sequel. A lot of people have their own agendas, and of course at the end of the day, it's a whole studio. Everyone needs to combine their forces in order to get an amazing game working, and putting it out there, it seems like not everyone is happy with this decision. They never delivered the sequel's plot to Sony, so hopefully it happens in the future. We don't exactly know if that's going to happen or not, but as of now, this is kind of just the sad news that we have. Now, if you think the creative director is going to stop there, well, guess what? He did not. He went a little bit extra with some more comments that he made, which is kind of hilarious at this point. Now John Garvin posted this on Twitter, where he says that the 3 reasons as to why we don't have Days Gone 2. Reason number 1, it has technical issues like bugs, streaming, and frame rate issues, which was later on fixed. By the way, the game is completely fixed. Right now there is no frame rate issues. The game runs really amazing on the PC as well as on the PS5 consoles. But originally for the PS4 Pro, I think the last gen consoles had the issues. But then if you're running the game on the PS5, it's butter smooth. It's amazing, to be honest. I played it, I loved it. It's really amazing. So the second point here is actually pretty funny, and it's very true, to be honest. Now he says that it has reviewers who couldn't be bothered to actually play the game, and this is 100% true, because IGN, they reviewed this game. They specifically said a lot of things does not exist in the game, which later on, if you actually finish the entire story, then you would know that the second half of the game had basically every single thing that they declined in their reviews that the game has. So this means that they never played the entire game, so they just rushed in, give a fuck in order to review the game properly, and they just gave it one of the worst ratings of all time. And third reason that he says is that it had woke reviewers who couldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at his date's ass. And man, oh man, this was actually commented on 2022, and how the hell did I miss this? It's honestly one of the wonderful replies, because, you know, everything that was said in John Garvin's statement is actually very true. and most of the gamers did notice that as well, because most of them actually did end up liking this game. It's the same situation with Black Myth Wukong. The only difference is that these reviewers got exposed with Black Myth Wukong because, you know, players defended that game. But back in those times, all of this woke stuff, it was just newly introduced to our generation. You know, it was not widespread like it is these days. So people right now, they're done with that shit. You know, they are tired of all that woke stuff, and they're finally taking a stand against these woke reviewers. But unfortunately, that was not the case back then when Days Gone released, and it seems like that's the reason why this game just went down. And honestly, Sony is losing millions of dollars because they sold 9 million copies of Days Gone on console alone. And if you go down to the charts, and if you take a look at the other games on how many copies got sold, now if you take it The Last of Us Part 2, there was 10 million copies sold. Horizon Zero Dawn, 10 million copies. The Last of Us Remastered, 10 million copies. Ghost of Tsushima, 9.7 million copies. And Days Gone was able to sell 9 million copies. And if a sequel for this game is cancelled, that is a huge problem. That definitely shows how big of a problem we have in current generation of woke media and all of these really terrible reviewers out there. They absolutely tried to butcher Black Myth Wukong, and thankfully for all of the fans around the world, we fought hard and we made that game successful, and now it's a great game. You know, people are now acknowledging for what it is. And of course, these medias out there like IGN and GameSpot and all of these dumbasses, they tried their very best until the very end in order to drag this game down, but it never worked. And that's a huge thanks to all of us in the gaming community. We finally succeeded in order to stop these media outlets from destroying good games from happening, and it seems like it's going to continue happening in the future as well. But yeah, at this point, this is all that we have that is related to Days Gone, all the situation that's going on with Days Gone, man. Honestly, I really want to see a sequel to Days Gone. I want to see Days Gone 2. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? If you have any opinions, leave them in the comments. And someone from Sony, if you're watching this video, go ahead, check the comments down below, see what fans want. Everybody wants Days Gone 2. Just take a look at the comment section, and all of you guys watching this video, just go ahead, just take a couple seconds of your valuable time and leave a comment on this video saying that you want Days Gone 2 if you want it. And your comments, it does really matter. It makes changes. Look at Black Myth Wukong. Just because we were vocal enough, the game survived. But if we stay calm, I think the woke media is absolutely going to destroy gaming forever. And that is why we need to stand up to this shit, and we need to speak up. Make sure to go down in the comments, let your opinions known about Days Gone 2. Video, drop a like. It really helps the channel out a lot. It helps the video get